Vizag's Heritage Narrator. And why Vizag Heritage?
It's got a sense of three things. I. So this I is not me, but I, this voice.
If you were the Heritage Minister
Yes.
of Vizag,
Yes.
what are the top three things that you want to change?
What a beautiful question.
No, sustainable development.
It's an answer I don't want to speak on.
Tell me more about Aruku people.
What a lot of science they have.
What were you doing before you became a full-time narrator?
Thank you, Gayatri, for doing your homework well. That's when I gave up.
మీరు ఇప్పుడు చెప్పిన దానివల్ల I started thinking one thing that really moved me is that health challenge, that strength that you had when you faced that health challenge.
But now my perspective of looking at pain, bedside, understanding health is way more than anybody, I think.
What did you learn about life?
What is there to learn? You just live your life. When was the last time you did something for the first time?
Welcome to Abhilasha, stories from heart, mind and voice. Today's guest is Mrs. Jayshree Hatangadi, the voice behind Vizag's heritage. When history speaks through her voice, Vizag listens. In today's podcast, she shares her journey from a businesswoman to a full-time narrator, touching on health and timeless reflections. So take a deep breath, lean in and enjoy the journey. Namaste, ma'am.
Namaste to you, Gayatri, too, and all the Abhilasha team here. So nice that you got together on this beautiful 1st June.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining Abhilasha team. I'm glad that you're here.
I'm glad too. And Gayatri, having me as your guest gives me a sense of, how do you say, true Abhilasha.
Thank you. చాలా రోజుల నుంచి ఎదురు చూస్తున్నాను ఫర్ దిస్ డే బికాస్ ఎవర్ సిన్స్ ఐ మెట్ యూ ఫర్ ద ఫస్ట్ టైమ్ I have been trying to contact you. I want you to be on to the show and finally today is the day. How are you doing, ma'am?
I'm doing good, and it is a mystery to me too because we don't know each other.
Yes.
We've never met each other, really, otherwise. And we actually meet on a heritage site. And that too when I'm with a big group of people, I don't know who you are. And then you say, I always wanted to meet you. So how do you say, it is destined that we are here to do something for Abhilasha together.
Yes.
So that's what I feel, yes.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you. Vizag's Heritage Narrator. This is what I've heard about you when I first met you. Every narrator, every storyteller has a story of how they started. So how did all this begin and why Vizag Heritage?
Just like you said, I always like to introduce myself. I am Visakhapatnam's heritage narrator. I love saying that. It's got a sense of three things. I. So this I is not me, but I, this voice of Visakhapatnam, which has another huge story by itself. Heritage is what we have inherited from the city, God knows from how many years. And narration is something that voice which I said, why I is being spoken. I am Visakhapatnam's heritage narrator has a lovely story. And you say, why Visakhapatnam? Is that your question?
Yes.
This is my hometown. I was born here. My parents are from here. And my నాన్నగారు అనకాపల్లి. సో ఆయన అంతా ఇక్కడదే. సో ఇది రియలీ విశాఖపట్నం అనేది పెద్ద నాకు అమ్మమ్మ ఇల్లు సమ్మర్ వెకేషన్ తప్పించి పెద్ద ఎక్కువ నాకు అనుబంధం కానీ పెద్ద ఎక్కువ మంది తెలియడం కానీ ఐ డోంట్ హ్యావ్. I have traveled the world out of interest, out of everything. And somehow in all this, heritage has always been a very core important area. And so when I reached Visakhapatnam, and I wanted to tell a story. There was very little to tell. And yes, with the help of others, finding out, suddenly it was like a treasure trove, huge. Something started coming out. Of course, there are lovely people who are involved, who are historians, archaeologists, people who work long time back, intact members, things like that, who help saying that yes, we have a story, but why was it not told? No answers. That is when I thought, how do I say, nothing begins easily. Everything begins like small pops of activity. And so one of the big pop of activity I will tell you later, which made me a heritage narrator. And that's how I became a heritage narrator of Visakhapatnam. Its heritage sites, cultural sites, its traditions, its songs, its festivities, people, lifestyles. Main thing is the maritime heritage, the tribal heritage of our hills, and the geological heritage of our space. Basically, because Vizag has got mountains, hills, and it has got a seashore. So when there is a big drama, when both these collide together, so the ocean has its own living heritage, people heritage, lifestyle heritage, and the hills have its own flora, fauna, people, tribal heritage. All that put together, Vizag is blessed.
But I've never come across a career or a post like narration or heritage narration. What I have come across is tour guide. So what is the primary difference between a tour guide and a heritage narrator?
A tour guide is a person who's trained, equipped with information on a particular site or a particular small tour. Okay, and so it is basically like they start with a sentence and make sure they complete the sentence. They may be very well conversant or not on the focus of the topic or focus of the cultural background or tangible background, intangible background. There are a lot of elements that go into a guiding. They are only guiding. Narration has a combination of this appreciation of a heritage site, guiding through not just the space, intellectual space also, then connecting everybody who comes with a backdrop of their own understanding. They could be from the United States, Australia, or they could be from Vijayanagaram. But all three are there for understanding it. It's the narrator who will be able to club those together, not only of that side, but connected with that side, the past, present, and probably even the future is what a narration is.
Wow, there is so much difference actually. I mean, there is a mix of both, but I think a narrator can explain
Yeah, but it is still not understood. I understand it is because I have traveled and seen such lovely places in the world. If you go to Egypt, they call themselves registered guides or registered spokesperson of the heritage, they say. They are upskilled almost every 3 months. It may be the same heritage of 5,000 years back, but they are trained every 3. So, and they speak so well. So when someone like myself who's actually experienced quality, real quality, even your curiosity can't even frame the question, they have an answer for you. That quality is what I grew up or traveled with. So that I know what is good narration. And when I'm narrating, it's not me, it's the listener that I am most linked with or clubbed with, and that person or people or group or organization makes difference. I don't. The site is, I'm the spokesperson. There is no me that way.
Wow. You have seen Vizag from 1957 until now.
I was born 57, I don't know.
Okay. But you've seen Vizag
Yes,
from
I've
past
since I was
years.
young, very young, yes.
Yes. So what has changed in Vizag?
What has not changed, I'll tell you. The beautiful ocean and the hills. And of course the lovely people. That's not changed. But there's lot has changed, and the changed, some of them is for a very good reason, because we are growing, population has increased, and we are now 25 or 26 lakhs is our census, latest census. We need homes, we need progress, we need roads, we need everything. What feels unsatisfactory is, I think, 60 to 75% of the time, it's not responsible, it's not sustained, it's not matured. It is not thought of that we have inherited something, a space called this coastal shore. We have named it Visakhapatnam whenever. And we are going to give it, maybe God knows for how many more generations later. Are we doing it like we have received it? That has changed.
Okay. So you think there is no sustainable development happening?
It's an answer I don't want to speak on, because it'll take me away from your podcast into an area which you would not like. But yes, I'll agree with you. I'm unhappy with the sustainability, and I'll put a full stop there.
If you were the heritage minister
Yes.
of Vizag,
Yes.
what are the top 3 things that you want to change?
What a beautiful question. If I was the minister, and I wish I was, first thing is, we've inherited lovely spaces. Lovely. I wouldn't even say lovely is a very simple word, but we have inherited geo-heritage of millions of years ago. Today we flattened areas, disappearing Eramatti Dippalu. As a minister, no, I have to be just a good citizen to say this is not right. And these are just about 10 spaces. You look after those 10 spaces, the dignity, character, pride, prosperity, the very intensity or the core value of our city changes or remains like it is supposed to be.
Okay, so you will say that we have to, maintain or don't spoil our heritage.
You've gone the other way. Maintain, spoil is that you've already done something and you want to maintain it.
Okay.
You've already destroyed it, you want to repair it. Don't even go that side. Just leave it as they are. Arrest further deterioration because of rain, because of some natural reasons. That's it. Don't even come this side.
Okay. What are the unforgettable incidents or moments whenever you took a heritage walk or whenever you did a narration? What are the unforgettable moments that you can share with us?
I've had plenty. I've had an elderly gentleman crying. I have children's eyes popping out. I had children saying that, no, we still want to hear from you. I want people asking me to autograph and tell me something. I've had students or people coming from different parts of the country, like Varanasi or maybe even some religious spaces from different, and say, why don't nobody tells us stories like this? Why don't they do this? And I have it all the time. And in fact, you'll have pretty young adults coming from different parts of the world. Our children is one because they already understand it. But coming from a different part where their history is 200 or 300 years, putting another zero there, 2000 years, 1000 years is another big zero over there which adds. And for them, they almost swallow their own thoughts and they become speechless. So I sometimes have to knock on their head and say, it's okay, yes, the world is far more older. So I've had some wonderful moments.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very good. So I came on a Buddhist site. What are the other narrations that you do?
That's a good question, Gayatri. Yes. We have a couple of Buddhist sites. Yes, that's another big entity by itself. Another one very beautiful is that we have had the existence of Dutch, French, English traders from different parts of the world here. You know in which year?
Which year?
Late 1600s and 1700s. And it was a vibrant city with all this around end of 1700, 1800. And then we already started having the East India Company. We've had the company rule. Then we've had the British Empire. So all that, we have got landmarks of all that in our town even today. So one of the very, very interesting walks is from Town Hall, which is in the old town, and I take them to 10 points and I finish it at the lighthouse. Another very interesting one, and many people ask me to do it, I've just done it about maybe a week back, is 180 degrees and 8 plus stories. That is from the top of Ross Hill Church. So you've heard of Visakhapatnam saying unity with diversity?
Yes.
So do you know what that unity in diversity means? It's about our faiths. We have on our hill a temple, a church, and a mosque. Nobody spoke to each other and built it. Can you tell me which one is the oldest?
A temple, maybe?
No, anyway, it's incorrect for me to ask you a question. It is the masjid.
Okay,
That is the oldest, built in 1257.
It's too old.
It is. It is even before the faith had a very strong hold in our country. We were already having that 1257 before that, because what I'm saying 1257 is an epigraphic proof on a tombstone. The story is very big. I will not tell you about it. On a walk I will. But from there we've been having these three faiths from the ocean. Without turning your head, you can see all the three faiths existing there. From before 1200 till now, they've been practicing the Muslim faith continuously on that hill. Continuously. I tell why was the dolphin nose named dolphin nose. I talk about the groins of what the sea erosion has been done. Why Ross Hill and the church was built what it was. How did they build the port and the harbour? Who did what they did? I don't even know whether you know that the World War II and they dropped 5 bombs over there. Have you
There?
heard?
In
1942, April 6th.
I have no idea.
I know many of Vizag should know this. They should hear these stories because that gives you how we were probably, they say, all of them say it was a fishing village, but that must be a long ago. It was a trader's village or a trader's town mid 1700s, and today it is one of the biggest port of our country. You know, 1712, I think, I'm not sure of the date, there was a Porta Nova, Netherlands, tradesman who named his boat Vizagapatnam Merchant.
Really?
Yes. And he used to sail from Madras to Calcutta and stop here. His trading was so good that he named his boat Vizagapatnam Merchant, and he came from Netherlands in those days. That's the story.
Why is narration important and how does it impact our lives? And why don't Vizag people know much about Vizag?
You've got a lot of questions there. But anyway, it's not about Vizag narration. It's about Vizag story. So, what has happened, I would say, is that this is not belonging to a single person or a group of people or an entity. It belongs to us, all of us. The state administration, whoever be the government, should have all this out. You have interpretation centers wherever you travel in the world. You have small, good museums, you have interpretation centers. And today technology is so good. Even a small room this size can take you across years. Why don't we do it? And it's all available. Material is there. Why don't we do it? That question mark, I don't know who is going to swallow for you. But till then, I will continue telling stories. And you said many people don't know. You are still very young, but I wish now you know. But thousands and thousands have come on my walks. So it is a word of mouth. I don't advertise so much. I don't charge at all. So it will pick up. But I wish the state government or the city administration actually said, we own this heritage. That would make a world of a difference. And that gives the city its character. Anyone visiting, anyone part of Vizag will want to know and want to share and make it that pride and prestige. That's narration. That's heritage.
Amazing. What is special about Vizag is we have the hills, we have people there, we have the tribal people there, we also have the ocean, sea. Tell me more about Aruku people, their tradition, their livelihood, and also you have published a book called Girijana Vaibhavam. Tell me more about that.
2023 is when our district, Visakhapatnam, got cut, or rather got smaller, and now it's ASR district. So for a long time, Visakhapatnam district included the what we now call the ASR district. Even today, if you ask a tribal, me the district enti Visakhapatnam ane antaru gabukkumani ASR an alku raadu kuda. So anyway, so 56% of the landmass was in the hill area or the tribal area. That was all, that was Visakhapatnam. So that is why my narration has always been that. I've been doing it since 2005, not narration, but involved with the tribal people. So what is so beautiful? India is diverse, culturally, traditionally, languages, the way we attire ourselves, the way we are, and tribals form a very integral part of our country. We do speak about the Northeast, we do speak about the Santas, we do speak about the different parts of our country. We have it. We also have it in the Eastern Ghats. And there we have so many different tribes, and no two tribes have not very different, but they are pretty different in the way they celebrate life, festivities, their dress, their food. Today everything is meshed up. But if you looked at it about 15 years or 20 years back, they didn't even come down their hills for a long time. So I, as a person who didn't know, just like many people, when I came here in 2005, I just went on a visit saying, I'm going there. And I didn't know what that going there meant. And that's when I saw this huge difference of what no one knows. And I remember when I came back from these visits and trying to tell my mom and my grandmom and anybody else, Ada, Auna, Alaga, Akde, Ikde, you 100 kilometers dooranlo. And I used to come back telling these stories, and it is not one or two. The way they live their life, the way they, livelihoods that they do, whether it is beekeeping, farming, pottery, so many different things, building, carpentry, everything is still got hardly any tools, still got hardly anything. They're so resourceful with everything that is around them. Bhashal veru, Pandagal veru, Patal veru, పద్యాలు వేరు, చెప్పిన విధానం వేరు. అంత వేరున్నప్పుడు ఏది తెలియపోతే పుస్తకం రాకపోతే ఏది రాద్దాం? That is what Girijana Vaibhavam is all about. And that is the beauty of this tribal area. And yes, I love to share that too a lot.
Okay, tell me, what is that one thing that you've learned from Aruku people, and also what is that thing that not the common people know about Aruku and Aruku tribes?
It is unfair when you say about one thing you learned.
There are many.
Hundreds. You can say I was a zero when I first started, and today I have so much, it sort of bursts out of my heart. And in fact, every time when I tell the children of the area about something else, they would also be excited, because no two areas know about the other area. I was almost one of the first few people who would tell these things. So that is how it was. So it's another big story for another day. And what is it that people don't know about it?
Common people.
still pretty zero. Because even now ఎక్కడికి వెళ్తున్నారు అరకు ఏం వెళ్తున్నారు జాకెట్ వేసుకుని ఒక ఫోటో తీసుకుని సెల్ఫీ వచ్చారు అంతే. నువ్వు వెళ్ళవరా క్లౌడ్స్ చూసావా కొండల మీద చూసాను చాలా బాగుంది ఫినిష్డ్. సో అది తెలియడం కూడా కాదు, అది సిగ్గుచేట అనమాట. బట్ దెన్ దెర్ ఇస్ సో మచ్.
What did you learn from them?
So much, whether it is about farming, livelihood, dressing, the way they live, everything that they use is from the ground, from the tree, the leaf, the flower, everything that they do. And they look up and they will be able to tell you the direction of the wind. They see that side and they'll tell you the rain will come. They look at a cloud and say, ivad emi avadamma. What a lot of science they have. How can I learn that? I can't learn. Unlearnable things are there. And so that is how, and even the quotations that they speak are beautiful. The songs they sing are beautiful. Let me give you one example. Fire. How does any rural or any space, if you burn a fire, including a tribal, karral techi petti aggi manta pettar kada. ఆ అగ్గి మంట పెట్టబోనప్పుడు చిన్నది కదా, కాగితంతో చేయడు, అది ఇలాగిలగిలగా అంటారు, రాళ్ళతో అంటారు. లేకపోతే ఈ మధ్యన అన్ని అగ్గి పొలాలు కూడా ఉండవు వాళ్ళకి. వాళ్ళకి ఎప్పుడూ ఒక అగ్గి ఉంటూనే ఉంటుంది. ఒక అగ్గి నుంచి ఇంకొక అగ్గే పెడతారు, వాళ్ళు స్టవ్ నుంచో అదే కుంపటి నుంచో దాని నుంచో. సో దానికి ఒక పదం ఉంటుంది. ఆ అగ్గి అలా పైకి వచ్చేసరికి ఇంకొక పదం ఉంటుంది, ఇంకా పెద్దదైతే ఇంకో పదం. అలాగా వాళ్ళకి 18-22 పదాలు ఉన్నాయి, only to denote the quality of the fire and the color and the height of the fire. You say, I started a fire, it is a big one, smoke dead. We don't have words, but they use that one word and you will know whether it is this high because of the intensity of the heat, not the height. Everything combined in the language called Kui. You tell me, it doesn't have a script. Many people tried to make a script, but they originally never had a script, and they speak these languages.
You understand?
To some extent, or at least I pretend to.
They understand Telugu?
Yeah, now everybody is, our education system there is so mainstream, they don't even allow them, or it is not inclusive. They've got rich diversity in flora, in the fauna, in the people, in the way they, but that's not included in their curriculum. So they want to be like somebody somewhere, something, because they hardly meet. Like maybe one of the few people who go to meet them in their schools is myself and some officials from the administration who always got pokey faces. They never smile. So that is all they know, maybe a doctor and a nurse, and then their parents and teachers. So their exposure is so low, but they're always imagining that there's something somewhere, but all the richness is in their land. They don't think that is rich. They don't think that is something to be proud of.
They're still like that.
Not still. They always were proud. Today our mainstream education has removed the pride. And that has been done so fast, so beautifully, and it's deteriorated the entire ability to say, it's my land. Whereas they didn't even know it's my land. They loved it. It's just that they never thought they were different from a tree. That rooted there, I rooted here. అంత అందమైన ఫిలాసఫీని ఇప్పుడు ఎక్కడికో వెళ్ళిపోయి ఏదో చేసేయాలంటారు. వాళ్ళకి ఎలాగొస్తుంది? ఎలా చేయగలరు వాళ్ళు? వాళ్ళ భూమి తాలూకా బలం, వాళ్ళ పద్ధతుల తాలూకా బలం, వాళ్ళ వ్యవహారం గురించి బలం, ఆ బలం పిల్లలకి అర్థం అవ్వకపోతే వాళ్ళు అక్కడెందుకు ఉంటారు? ఎక్కడికో వెళ్ళిపోవాలనుకుంటారు. వెళ్ళగలరా? వెళ్ళలేదు. అది తీసేస్తున్నాం మనం ఎడ్యుకేషన్ పేరులో. సో ఇవాళ కూడా నేను ఎవ్రీ 2 monthsకి 15 రోజులు నేను అక్కడే ఉంటాను. I stay there and I contribute my time there. I hardly make a big difference, but I contribute my time, and it's a very, very, how do I say, rewarding for me and for them.
You're doing a great job, ma'am. నాకు పర్సనలీ అరకు అంతగా అసలు తెలీదు. ఉంది తెలుసు, కాఫీ ఒక్కటే తెలుసు, అరకు అంటే కాఫీ అంటే తెలుసు, కానీ ఇంత ఉందా అరకులో? నాకు అర్జెంట్గా అరకు వెళ్ళిపోవాలనిపిస్తుంది.
ఇవన్నీ ఏంటి కనపడదు మీకు?
అక్కడ
ఏమి ఇలాగే మళ్ళీ అరకు వెళ్తావు, కాఫీ తాగి వచ్చేస్తావు. ఇదేమి కనబడదు.
మరి ఇవన్నీ ఎక్స్ప్లోర్ చేయాలంటే మీతో వెళ్ళాలి.
నాతో వెళ్ళొచ్చు, ఒక గ్రూప్ గా వచ్చి ఒక రాత్రి 2 రాత్రులు ఉంటే గ్రామాల్లో. ఇప్పుడు అలాగని ఫోటోగ్రాఫర్స్ తీసుకెళ్తాను, డిజైనర్స్ తీసుకెళ్తాను, ఆర్కిటెక్చర్ స్టూడెంట్స్ ఫ్రమ్ ఆల్ ఓవర్ ద కంట్రీ కమ్ అండ్ వి డూ. వన్ ఆఫ్ ది ఓల్డెస్ట్ హౌస్ బిల్డింగ్ విల్ బీ దేర్, అంటే హట్. అది ఎప్పుడో తరతరాలు, ఐఎమ్ టాకింగ్ అబౌట్ 1000 years బ్యాక్. వాళ్ళు ఎలాగ ఇల్లు కట్టుకున్నారు ఇంకా అలాగే కట్టుకుంటారు. సో ఆర్కిటెక్చరల్ స్టూడెంట్స్ కి నిజంగా ఆ కట్టుతల తాలూకా న్యాచురల్ రిసోర్స్ తోటి ఎలా అక్కడ చూడొచ్చు మనం. అది సో ఈవెన్ ఇఫ్ యూ గో నా, ఇప్పుడు కూడా కాఫీ తాగేసి వచ్చి ఆహా బాగుందని అనుకొని ఏమి కనపడదు. మళ్ళీ కాఫీ నన్ను ఆ కాఫీ అని కాదు కథ ఉంటుంది గాయత్రి, అద్భుతం అనుకో. ఇట్స్ బ్యూటిఫుల్ స్టోరీ. కాఫీ మందు కానే కాదు, అది ఎవరో తీసుకొచ్చి ఇక్కడ వేసారు. కానీ వీళ్ళు అడాప్ట్ చేసుకొని ఎంత చక్కగా నా ల్యాండ్లో దే ఆర్ ఏబుల్ టు డూ కాఫీ అండ్ ఆల్ మల్టీ అదర్ ఆర్గానిక్ క్రాప్స్. It's another big story by itself. In fact, because of that, I am part of a very, very engaging NGO called Sanjeevani. I'm just another like volunteer or a spokesperson. And we are doing something called the Soil and Seed Information Center. It's coming up.
Wow,
Yes.
that is very nice.
Yes.
I want to know more about it. We'll surely be in
We'll do
touch.
it at another time.
Yes. Mani, coming back to Vizag,
Okay.
what did you see in Vizag that people over here don't realize or take it for granted?
Before we come to Vizag, let me take you down the road. You're coming back from Aruku. You were having
Yes.
coffee there.
Yes.
I'll bring you down the road to Vizag. That road was built in 1939 by Ralph E. Smith. He was a Canadian who was working in the British here, and he was supposed to build a road. So today, even now, when we drive in the car, we are driving like as though you're not even driving. You don't even know you're driving. You don't even have to. The hairpin bins are so beautifully constructed on the hills. That is the level of engineering. Beautifully built. So there is heritage even on the road, which very few people know. And then he went and he wanted to build, because he was asked to build a church there. At Anantagiri, he said he'll build the church there. And then he went on a horse because there was no road that time when he was investigating, he's engineering a road. He went on a horse and suddenly realized that just about few kilometers higher, the highest point of Aruku, that is 3936 from the sea level, is the highest point. That's where he's built the church now. Sunkarametta Church is over there, and you'll see 1939 over there.
Wow.
And
Amazing.
after I revealed this story by another contributor, they changed the name from Sunkarametta Church to Ralph E. Smith Church.
By his name. On
By his name, yes.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, so we've come back to Vizag now. So what did you say the question was?
What people over here don't realize about Vizag or take it for granted?
It's a very big question. They do take it for granted that yeah, it is by the sea, it is beautiful. You know, ikkada rara, ikkada undra, balega untada. That is a granted. Besides that, it's a very big question to answer, because if you really love your city, we have a complete coast. I don't think in any school they've ever taught you about a lighthouse. You are a shore city. You are a city by the ocean, and you don't know about lighthouse. So what is that I'm going to talk to you about? We don't know what is erosion. We don't know the sea creatures that are there on the rocks. We don't know the kind of migratory birds that come to our water bodies just around Vizag. They come from Siberia. Do we know these? And not today. They've been flying for thousands of years. Tekkali near Srikakulam. It's a community-based bird organized by community. Huge pelicans and birds come there. Do we know those? So what? We are taking only what we want for granted. This is what we have to take into account.
As a narrator, You know a lot of places, you know their stories, you might fall in love while reading about them. But I want you to tell me top three places to visit in Vizag. Must. For somebody who doesn't know Vizag or is just a tourist over here or wants to know more, where can they start from?
Kulothunga Cholapatnam. Have you heard of it?
Honestly, what I know in Vizag is my college, my house, and the beach.
So Vizag was called Kulothunga Cholapatnam
Okay.
for 2+ years. Okay. And how do I know that? There is a complete big rock and it has got sculpted, epigraphed, which says from 1087, it has been named from today, it will be called Kulothunga Cholapatnam. So I would say Simachalam temple is something which everybody who comes to Vizag should visit it. Not just to fold hands and pray and to get a big car or get married, but to see the generational people who did not rule. This part of Vishakhapatnam was there under their rule, but they did not rule it like have a throne here or a palace here. But the only sign that we were part of their dynasty is the 3 gopurams on top of Simachalam. So you will see the Oriya, you will see the Chola and the Kalingas. The 3 gopurams are different, diametrically in shape and design, telling you there are 3 dynasties that ruled there. That's the beauty. We have 96 beautiful pillars. Not one pillar resembles the other pillar. And if you stand against the pillar and you're looking up, an entire story is carved in stone. Nobody tells you about that. The queens and princesses and princes have donated their jewelry to the gods over there. Where is it? Nobody knows. But on insistence, because of 2016 or something before that, we got the temple authorities at least take photos and put pictures so we know what this jewelry is. So we put it up. Like that, if you walk every step in Simachalam, 100, 1, 1, 2, 7 steps from the bottom till the top. It's not just architecture. It's not just faith. It's not the devotion. It is the economics. People practicing those livelihoods. It is the whole construction, the water bodies, the flowing streams, the flora, the fruit trees, and the language that you hear is so different. So from 1,000 years, these families have almost doing the same things. That's the place you should see.
That is place 1. Place 2?
Bojjanakonda. It's between us and Anakapalli. Now we've separated our districts. To me, all these are the same because that's how it was a couple of years back. Bojjanakonda is a Buddhist site, which is about, I would say, 1st century BC till 7th century CE. That means nearly 600 to 800 years, it was thriving. So Buddhist has 3 stages: Theravada, Mahayana and Vajrayana. Very clear. No site across our country will show you strong signs of these 3 landmarks which you see here. Buddhist carvings, Buddha carvings, Bodhisattva stories. You will see it all there. It is not even 45 kilometers from here. But there's no guide. There are 2 boards there, very good boards. Way to toilet, way to drinking water. It does not tell you timeline. It does not tell you anything. And there is no guide. So what do? Forget narration. So when I take people over there, they don't want to come away from there. It is one of the most beautiful, enriched site. And I speak from excavation notes of 1906, Alexander Rea, who was a British archaeologist, Survey of India.
Nice.
And the third one. And the third one would be 180 degrees and 8+ stories from Ross Hill. These are the 3 spaces. meaning sights. One thing one should do is walk along our coast with a marine biologist. I tell you, hundreds and hundreds of creatures who do not know what a human being is thriving in colonies over there. You look down, look at the colors, you look at the beauty of how they are. That's what people should know about.
Wow, I'm so mesmerized and awestruck by this amazing heritage that Vizag has. Really amazing. I think I have lot to explore. I think
There
I've
is,
explored
there is.
zero, nothing but Vishakhapatnam. Amazing. I see that before you becoming a full-time Vizag heritage narrator, this is just one part of the story. For the rest, check out the other episode on our channel or playlist. Thank you for listening to this episode of Abhilasha. If this touched you, inspired you, or made you think, please do us a small favor. Like this video, share it, and subscribe to our channel Abhilasha Stories from Heart, Mind, and Voice.